right, you guys. So taking what we've learned or what we started learning using our area models, we're going to take it up the next level now so that our actual rectangles don't have to look just like the area or just like the algebra tiles that we would use to create them. So what these little puzzles are looking at is to write an equation that represents the area written as a sum is equivalent to the area written as a product, okay, using the area models below. So the first one says that the area of this little square here is 3x squared. So if we find the area by multiplying one side of that rectangle times the other, and it's telling us that this side is x, what can I multiply x by that would give me 3x squared? And that would be, well, I need a 3, right? So it's got to have a 3. And I already have, this is an x, so if that was just 3 and I multiplied it by x, I would just get 3x. But I'm trying to get 3x squared, so I need an additional x out here, okay? So that would be 3x on the outside. And then if that is 3x on that side of a rectangle, it also means that it is 3x on that side, because when you have a rectangle, the opposite sides are the same length. So if I know that this is 3x, what would this side have to be so that when I multiplied it together, I would get 6x. So the x obviously comes from here, okay? So the question is really, what do I need to multiply 3 by to get me 6? And the answer is 2. 3x times 2 will give you 6x. So I have two things happening here. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker just for myself. I have the area written as a sum is just adding up the insides. So that's going to be 3x squared plus 6x, okay, is equal to the area as a product, so that's the sum. The area as a product is the length times the width. So if length is my longer side and width is my shorter side, well, we don't know which is shorter or longer when we make x a number, but we do know what it looks like. So when I say shorter and longer, I'm just saying, what does it look like? So my length, or one side, could be x plus 2, and the other side is just going to be 3x. Okay. And let's do this other square. I have an x on this side. I need to figure out what goes here so that if I multiply them together, the area of this rectangle, will give me x squared. So what number times x is x squared, or what variable? So the length from here to here must be x, because x times x will give me x squared. Now, if this distance is x, then also this distance is x. And I need to, if I can figure out what goes here, it's just like a little puzzle. I can figure out what goes here. If I'm asking myself x times what number will give me x, and that's easy since they're already the same, it's just 1. That's the only thing that'll give me x. X times 1 is 1. So if this is 1 here, then this is also 1 up here. Okay, and if this is x down here, then it's also x here. And if it's 1 from here to here, it is also 1 from here to here. So now I just need to multiply the outsides of these rectangles, or they could be squares. Some of them are rectangles, some of them are squares. Just depending on the number, they're always going to look the same. So first of all, how do I find the area of this little box here? Right? How do I find the area of this box? Well, I take this side, which is 1, and I multiply it by this side, which is also 1. So 1 times 1 is just 1. Okay, and then the area of this box here, one side is x and one side is 1. So 1 times x, you could either say it's 1x, right? You could say it's 1x, but when you have x's, you don't really need to put if you have a 1, you don't really need to put that in front of it. So you could just say x like we did down here. This is really 1x also. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces filled out. So our area written as a sum, so adding up all of the pieces on the inside, we have 1 box that is x squared. We have 2 boxes that are x, so we have 2 x's. And we have a 1. Equals, then we need to do the length times the width. So in this case, let me erase some of this stuff. The sides are the same length, right? The sides are the same length. So we only need to pick 2 of the sides, 1 for length and 1 for width. So let's pick a good color here. I guess just yellow because I don't think anything else will show. So this side is x plus 1. And this side is also x plus 1. So one's the width and one's the length. So it's actually going to be x plus 1 times x plus 1. If you are really feeling good about this, you could change it since x plus 1 and x plus 1 are exactly the same thing. We could erase one of those and just make this x plus 1 squared. So this shape is a square because both sides are the same, whereas the shape before, the side lengths were different. So it's not going to be a square, it's going to be a rectangle, right? Okay. Next one. We have, let's look at here. We want to find, or we know that the area of that yellow box is negative 4x. So we know one side of the box is 2, which means that 2 times something is equal to negative 4x. Well, first of all, we know that that question mark has to have an x in it because we need an x in our output. So we know it's going to have an x. We also know it's going to have a negative because how else would we get a negative if the 2 is positive? And then we know we have to get 4. So 2 times what is 4? 2. So 2 times negative 2x is equal to negative 4x. So if one side of that yellow box is 2, the other side has to be negative 2x in order to get negative 4x as the area, okay? And then don't forget, once we know that one side is negative 2x, I also know that this side is negative 2x, okay? Because it's a rectangle. So let's take a look at where else do we have an inside piece? We have an inside here at negative 10, right? Negative 10. How did I get the area of negative 10? Well, this side is still 2. It's 2 all the way through. So 2 times what is negative 10? Well, it has to be a negative number to get the negative. And then I have to have a 5 to get 10 because 2 times 5 is 10. So on the outside, this is negative 5 because 2 times negative 5 is going to give us negative 10. Then how about, let's change colors. How about this blue box? We don't know the inside, but we know both of the sides. We can just multiply them together. It's actually easier finding the inside of the boxes than finding the outside of the boxes. So one side is, let's make this blue. One side is 2 because it's 2 all the way through, and one side is 3y, both of those positive. So our answer is going to have a y in it, and it's going to be positive because both of those numbers are positive, and then it's just going to be 2 times 3, which is 6. So the area of the blue is 6y because one side is 3y and one side is 2. So let's look up here. I'm running out of colors to use. Pink. Let's do a pink. Whoops, didn't make it pink. Let's make this box pink. Okay, so we want to find the sides if the area is a 3, an x, and a y. I hate coloring outside that line. Look, it's so messy. I'm sorry. Okay, if it's 3xy, and I know, let me recolor these in. I know that one side is 3y, right? Because if that side's 3y, then the top part is also 3y. So I know one side is 3y, which means, I'm gonna do black here because I can't write on the pink with pink, I don't think. The 3 came from that 3 and the y came from that 3. All I need the other side to do is have an x. So 3y times x is 3x and y. Okay. Now I have both sides of this white box next to it. I have an x and I have a negative 2x. So if I multiply negative 2x times x, I get, you multiply the coefficients first. So remember the coefficient here is just 1. The coefficient here is negative 2. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. And then I have x times x. So there's 2 of them. If I'm multiplying, that becomes x squared. So this becomes negative 2x squared. And then last, I have a negative 5 on one side and an x on the other side. And so that just becomes negative 5x. Okay. So when I write the area as a sum, I am just going to add up all of my like terms, or let's just add up all of the boxes. So I have a box that's negative 2x squared, and I have a box that's positive 3xy, and I have a box that's negative 5x. So instead of putting plus 5x, I'm just going to put minus 5x. And I have a box that is negative 4x, and I have a box that is positive 6y, and I have a box that is negative 10. But check this out. I have this negative 5x and this negative 4x are like terms because they're both x's. So actually, if I combine them, I don't have negative 5x and negative 4x. I just have negative 9 x's. Okay, so the area of this one written as a sum is negative 2x squared plus 3xy minus 9x plus 6y minus 10. And it looks ugly, but it's pretty easy, right? And then we still have to do the area as a product, which means we just need to do equals, and we just need to do length times width. So my length is going to be negative 2x plus 3y minus 5. And my width is just going to be, the other side of that rectangle is just going to be x plus 2. Okay. Then lastly, let's see. If we have 2x here, 2 times what will give me 4? That's 2. And I already have 1x here, so I do need another x because we have x squared here. Okay. Now let's see. If this is positive 3 and this is 2x, my area on the box on the lower right is going to be 3 times 2, which is positive 6. And that 2 has an x. Here's a question. This negative 9 is the area. If this side is positive 3, what can I put here that will give me negative 9? Well, it has to be a negative because the 9 is negative. And 3 times what is 9? 3, so that's negative 3. And then if this down here is 2x, I know this is 2x. So I can find the area of this box by doing negative 3 times 2, which is negative 6. And then the 2 has an x, so I've got to bring that in. Okay. So I have found all of the pieces of my rectangle. We only need one of each side with numbers on it because we automatically know, because it's a rectangle, that this is going to be 2x, that this is going to be positive 3, that this will be negative 3, and that this will be 2x. Okay, but we really only need to look at 2 of the sides. Okay, so let's just look at those 2 sides. And we need to write the area as a sum, so we add up all the insides. So we have 4x squared plus 6x minus 6x minus 9. But check out, you guys, this plus 6x and this minus 6x actually cancel out. So our area is just 4x squared minus 9. Then is equal to, we need the length and the width. The length is, I'm just going to do the bottom because I can't tell which side's longer. So we'll just do 2x plus 3. And the other side is 2x minus 3. Okay. So that is written as a product. It is 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3.